Welcome to Ambient Dedications. This is Chris, and I'm assuming you like ambient music because you're watching this, so I'm going to do a tutorial on how to use the Bioscape program. This is a great program for composing and putting together ambient music. And let's take a listen to this program, and let's put on pads and just listen to what this program sounds like. Nice. You can do a lot with this program. It's set up in 4 layers, doesn't use an oscillator like a synthesizer. It uses 4 layers of samples, and you can load a combination of the 4, and you can mix them with this XY, and you can go from A to B, C to D, and so forth. But let's just take a look at how to initialize the program and how to load a sound from scratch. Let's initialize it. I'm assuming you know how to use Contact because this runs on the Contact program, and it runs on the free version as far as I can tell. Last I looked, that's what they said. So let's take a look and load something here. Right now there's nothing in it. It's completely dry, no effects are set up, no modulators. And let's just look at how to load this up. So we'll take user and let's look at drones. And if you choose from a category here, we've got a lot of categories to choose from: wind, water, I can't pronounce this word, but well, let's take that one. So let's take that category and take these samples. So you have different cardboard tube drone. You have a pulse. Let's try cardboard tube drone and see how that sounds. That's an interesting sound. Let's leave that one up. And notice how the sample loops. Loops from start to finish, but you can change the start point. But you can't change the end point unless you take it out of native mode. If you take it out of native mode, then you can change both. So we can have that loop much shorter, as you can see. And you can do a lot to adjust the loop and make it less obvious. Let's see how this is. Yeah, that's pretty good. Loop's nice and smooth. You can have the loop move forward or reverse. You can forward and stop. Let's just see how that goes. And that just stops, just like that. Forward stop, reverse stop. And it's interesting to note that if you're in native mode and you're in reverse, let's take a look at that. You can't change the start because it's starting from the reverse. So you can change that, but it's just in reverse. Key track is another feature that you're going to want to have turned on, probably because you're going to want to play melodies. If it's off, you're just going to get the dry sample, just the original sample point. No matter where you push on the keyboard, you can see I'm pushing in different places and it's not playing any notes, just the original. So let's leave key track on and let's take it out of native mode so we can actually fool around with it a little bit. And here you have your main controls, your ADSR, just like any synthesizer. It's going to work the same way. Let's make a shorter attack, or a longer attack rather, here. And we'll put the loop in forward mode. And let's take the filter. There's no filter on it right now. So what I'm going to do is let's put a ladder low pass 4 on it. And right now it's just cycling, no matter which key I switch to. But I can re-trigger it, so it'll get that attack from the very beginning. Let's put the attack quicker. So we're on a low pass. I'm going to change it to, let's try this one. Yeah, I like that better. You can pan it, and you can change the tuning. So you could load a couple of these same samples and then just tune them slightly out so you get more of a full sound, so you can stack voices that way. And of course the filter has the typical filter controls, resonance cutoff. And it has a formant. Formant feature's pretty cool. So it sounds like it's talking. And actually, let's leave the formant on there. Okay, so then that brings us to the XY. This is how you blend the sounds. If I take it over to B, I'm going to just hear nothing, because there's nothing in B, there's nothing in D, there's nothing in C. So we're in A right now. The interesting thing with the filter, or the XY, is that you can record these movements. And you can sync them to your DAW. You can set them to re-trigger or just, follow its own pattern while you're playing. It's just going to continue. But let's try this right now. Let's record. So you push the record button, and when you push a key, it'll start recording your moves. Turn on play, push a key, and that's doing exactly what I just did. But you can do some interesting things with it. If I sync it to my DAW, of course it's going to change with the tempo set on my DAW. Right now it's set for 120. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on quarters, so it'll be quarter note friendly, half note friendly, and it just kind of helps keep it in sync. Let's turn it up. And of course it's getting faster. Now it's going back to its normal pace. You can change it with this. You can have it at half the speed, or you could have it at the original speed, or you could have it twice the speed. And you also have a control of the loop similar to what you have up here with the sample. You can do forward, reverse, reverse stop, and ping pong. So you can do the same thing here. And interestingly enough, when you start adding effects and modulators, you can record the blend of how much you're going to hear of the modulation or the effect by hitting the record button and then playing once you hit a key, stopping, and then pushing the play button. And as you hit a key, you're going to get the same movements that you program in. The sync, retrigger, that will affect these here. So right now let's just leave sync on, and let's add some effects to this. Let's try a modulator on the tube drone. Now instead I'm going to do an LFO. LFO1, and let's attach it to cutoff A, which actually is talk, I believe, here. Turn that off, and then we'll go to the modulation tab. We can set that to sync with the DAW, which I'm going to do. Set it for an eighth note. So now we have the LFO's on, but you can't hear it because we didn't blend it in yet. So let's blend it in. And let's get a nice talking effect on it. Wild. I like that. Actually, let's slow the modulation down a little bit and set it to... There we go. Better. Okay. Keep that thought. Let's try something else. Now we're going to take user slot 2. I can take any one of the categories here, and let's mix in, say, something from ice. And these are more sound effects. And let's blend it in. Now it's blending nice. But still you don't have a lot of fantastic depth to the sound because we don't have any effects on it. And this is where it really gets crazy. So let's add distortion. And you can choose, of course, which group you're going to add it to, A and B, C, D, chorus, phaser, time stop, delay. Actually, let's take, distortion. And go to the effects. Distortion is on. We have the trans of the tube. Trans is very, it's more modern. The tube is a little bit more warm, like a tube amp would be. So let's push this. Now let's have it, now it's a little too stark. Let's do it this way, and let's add distortion. Yeah, the distortion is coming through. I don't particularly like that sound very much, but just to prove a point, let's add some reverb. And let's take the effects, take a look at the reverb here. I'm going to add A and B. Of course, you can choose A and B, C or D. They're always grouped like that. You can add delay, equalizer, phaser, any of that stuff. Of course, these are controlled by this part here. It's the reverb that's going to be on A and B or C and D. And here's the reverb. And the reverb itself, it's way too complicated to go into because there's so many to choose from. I try large hall. There you go. Pretty interesting sound. And you can imagine for ambient music or ASMR stuff, you can do some pretty crazy stuff with this program. So we've got that. That's basically how to map everything together. Let's just add a phaser. And let's take the phaser and put it on C and D. We don't have anything in C and D yet. And of course you've got here C and D chorus, phaser, and you can control how it is. Right now the distortion's on A and B. There's no distortion on C and D, but let's put something in C and D and take a look at what it sounds like. So let's take C. And let's add some wind. That sounds interesting. Let's try that. And let's take this empty. And I'm going to put a chorus on C and D. Go to the effects, chorus. Put the mix up, and let's actually put it in so we can hear it. And you can hear the chorus effect on that. It thickens it. And this is the user slot. We can add anything we want to this. So actually what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a synthesizer on the user slot that I sampled. What I did was I took Vital. Okay, where was I? I just had a machine crash. So I'm reloaded, and what I said is I took Vital and I recorded just a small sample of a waveform I synthesized on it. I converted it to a WAV file, exported it as a WAV file, and now I'm going to load it. There's my Vital test file. I'm going to drag it. All I do is just drag it into the user. And there it is. Now we've got a blend of all four of these. And I'm going to change where this loops, take it out of native mode. I'm going to make it sustain nicer. Try to get it so that there's not a stark change from the beginning to the end. Get a nice smooth loop. But it's going to be a long loop anyway. You can also adjust the levels. I want that to be the main sound. just the effects. Put reverb on C and D now, and bring the reverb in. You hear that? Now it's getting really full. I'll add the distortion a little more. So there you go. You can see how much you can actually do with this program. And you can also add a sequence. So I'm going to take sequence 1 and I'm going to map it to the pitch on D, which is where I just put my vital test sample. So let's go to modulation. Sequencer has as many as 64 steps on it. Let's just do some small stuff, 8 steps. And just randomize some things here so you can at least hear it changing. You can set it to re-trigger just like the others. It'll sync. Put the rate on, let's say 1/8. And let's take a look. There's the sequence. And I'm going to just single out D. Take the reverb off, and you can really hear the sequence better. Actually sounds pretty cool. I might save this. You've got that distortion, and knock the distortion off. You can hear that talking sound in there. Yeah, I like that. I'm going to save it. So what I'll do is I'll just push that to save my snapshot. And I'm just going to call it Vital Test, because I'm using a sample that I created in Vital. So I'll remember that. I've saved it. Now I can load it. If I choose User, there's my Vital sample. I think it's in there. Did I name it Vitral? Yeah. Okay. Spelled it wrong. Oh well. Sue me. Okay. So that's pretty much how to use this program. It's very easy to use. It's very easy to map things and set things up, and it's just very flexible. And one thing I didn't touch on was the mutate function. If you hit this, it's going to just randomly change some stuff. So let's try that. Droned. You hear the difference. And let's add life form to that. Now you have an even weirder sound. So you can morph sounds into other sounds and kind of have a continuous changing sound that you can go on for a really long time. It's great for ambient stuff. And I've yet to really make this the centerpiece of an actual song, but I think I'm going to be trying it pretty soon. The new piece I'm working on has this as its base. I mean based, not the bass, but it's based on this program, and I have some interesting samples in there. So that's pretty much it. If you like this program, go to the Luftrum site and download it. It's really not an expensive program. I got it for about $30, but I got it on sale. I think it's regularly around 90 or 100, and it's really, really good. It's worthwhile. You're going to get a lot out of it. So that's it, and thanks for watching. If you like this kind of content, drop me a like and subscribe and let me know what you'd like to see. Thank you very much.